What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're back with another little daily review, real quick. And today was tricky, but it was only tricky if you kind of didn't know it was OPEX, okay, and didn't know we had tons of news. So I'm going to talk about that in a second. But let's go over the play I took and why I stopped before market open, and just kind of go over my reasoning. So I've been in that option short for a while, okay? I mentioned yesterday in yesterday's daily review I'm still short, right? And I actually got out everything besides one contract at this low. And just for proof, I'll show you guys proof real quick. Lie to you guys. Um, I got out at, you can see today's filled at 9. So if you guys can see this, really can't see it. The ISO is probably too high. But I basically exited my puts at 9:30 at 42 seconds. So I exited my puts this morning, right about this candle, because to me, I felt like if we're going to keep dumping today, we would have gone right through this 15-minute gap. And as you guys know, this 15-minute gap held previously, okay, from Tuesday. So I figured that 15-minute gap didn't break, that we'd be bullish. So that's why I got out, okay? And the fact it's OPEX, and usually we don't get like a one-sided move in OPEX. So just knowing that helps, basically. And the play I took on my apexes. I didn't take any live account plays today. My options account was my live account play. It was shorts, so I banked off that. And then I took this on my apexes. And I kind of talked about the short, and I like the short, subjectively, because it was, I was bearish. And I said if you are bearish bias, this is a really good short to take. Because not only were we wrecking back through this long that we got, but it was also like there was also an SMT here, my indicator alert as well. If we go back in the replay mode, I think my indicator alerted an SMT there, which is pretty cool. So the indicator alerted, it was an SMT. I knew the draw on liquidity would be at least this 15-minute low inside the fair value gap. So, and it was before open. And I'm gonna give you a little gem. If it's ever OPEX, and you know it's OPEX, and we have a pretty decent play to open, I would rather take a play before open on OPEX days. And how do I know that? Because I've done it a long time, and those plays hit way more than me. So there you can see the SMT alert, and then my indicator did get alert. I don't know why it's not showing now, but yeah, basically if I know it's like OPEX for that day, I really try to get a pre-market play, and I had to try it. And then my options I sold right at open, so it still counted. So yeah, the best thing to know about today is it's OPEX. OPEX is just basically when a bunch of options expire at the same time. So market makers really try to wreck people. All these snaky patterns appear. So I like being done before 9:30. Okay, we got a nice one directional move, and I told the stream, I'm like, okay, that's my only play. People asked if I was done for the day, and I said yes. Obviously, I'm done, and that was that. And I make it look easy, and it's really not easy because a lot of people will be undisciplined. A lot of people will trade after that, but I literally just stopped after that because I know it's OPEX, right? So that was kind of my play. Took made a couple grand, not too much money, but yeah, it wasn't A plus. I did not say this was an A plus setup. It wasn't like a light bulb V shape A plus setup because it was a little low, but it was still A minus. And I said it was still an okay play to take in a live if you were bearish, which I did not take my live because I was already in the short on my live and options. So yeah, and then after that we opened, and I'm thinking, okay, we got a breaker here. We're closing above every high. We have a break of structure. Like at that point, I'm like, okay, we're probably gonna be bullish, right? And yeah, so I kind of just tapered the rest of the day, and we had a lot of just snaky movement, and I'm not surprised at all because this is what OPEX does. And if you actually take the time and put in the work, and you go back test like the last 10 OPEXs, you're gonna see a lot of this. Okay, so again, I knew to stop. I knew that a lot of OPEXs look like this, and again, it's hard to trade. So I took a little bunch of paper trades. There was a 3-minute short here. I actually love this short. This is a great short. But there was some news at 10 that came out at 10:01 on Financial Juice, and it was basically just like a decision about Trump's global tariffs. And someone in my chat, a bunch of people were spamming me in chat saying, "Yo, like there's this thing coming out at 10, and I will trade Jolt's news at 10 a.m. I'll trade consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. I'll trade job claims. The only news I will never, never, never take a trade before is something with Trump and tariffs." Okay, I traded back when Trump was in office 6 years ago, and I remember how volatile it was, especially when you mentioned tariffs, and even now, in the last year or two, you just don't want to be in a trade around that time. So this was a great setup. It was a great signature and price to know, like, yes is a plus. Medicare alerted at the break even probably would have been like here, and it just got wrecked because of the news. And obviously tariffs equals a bad thing, and the news was the tariffs were struck down. So if there's no tariffs, that's bullish. And no one really knew what the government was going to say about them. So you can see the news candle just at 10:01. It came out at 10:01, absolutely wrecked the long setup or the short setup. Was it still a great play if there wasn't news? Yes, and you should know that for the future. Okay. So if you took the loss, just be more aware of the news next time. It was a great loss, but you got to know there's news there. And then we got a 2-minute, and I led this 2-minute, but unfortunately we never closed below this little gap here and this little volume balance. And in the new ICT mentorship, ICT really emphasizes these volume imbalances combined with these gaps here, and we just never closed below either. So I would have loved the short, never printed. And I actually did love this 2-minute short. This was great. This was actually great. It just failed, and again, probably just because of OPEX. And we had this little trend line forming down here, and if OPEX does form a lot of trend lines, and OPEX will bounce off trend lines. If you guys have traded OPEX before, it just does that, and I don't know. I mean, that's why I didn't want to take any more trades. So, kind of took a few paper trades for fun. If I hadn't taken the trade, I would have probably tried this in my live, but would have gotten wrecked on it, as you can see. But again, it's why I stay away from OPEX. And there's always going to be profitable OPEX days, but more than not, there's going to be more unprofitable OPEX days. So I really just put it out as a whole. I really just don't trade as a whole anymore, like I used to. And if I do, I go for 1 hour. But I really just stop trading it for sure, like for total. So that failed, and then we had another 1-minute short here. This would have been a break-even play. I took some paper, but I didn't go break-even because it was paper, whatever. But the break-even was here, so that would have actually saved you, okay, if you took that. And then there's a 1-minute long here, complete pattern trade. At this point, we're super snaky. The conditions suck, and never a play I would have taken. And you're going for a protected high here. There's a high that took out a high inside of fair value gap. So, just not surprised at all about today. Very snaky. This is what OPEX does. So just keep that in mind for next time. And that is going to be it for now. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.